Hello, my name is Ashley Indigo, aka the Divine Moon Goddess, and this is the Gemini August monthly horoscope. Sorry, I had to put something on so my lips don't get dry here. I talk a lot, naturally, so my lips get chapped, my lips get dry. You're gonna excuse me, I had something in my eye here. Ooh. Alright, so this month is August. And the Leo is the sign for August. When I think Leo and I think 8, the number 8, I think success, I think loyalty, I think karma, the sideways infinity sign. I think you get what you put out. Those are the things that come to mind when I think the number 8. Um, Those are all the things that I get when I think the number 8. So, right now, today is August 12th. I record these videos as I can around my babies, around my life, but I do try to be as giving of my time as I can because there is a lot to learn as far as everyone's concerned, even myself. I don't know it all, but I do know a lot of things. This specific stuff, I do, or I wouldn't be here doing this. So Gemmies, a lot has been happening. There was the Lionsgate portal on 8/8. I think that energy is open until today. There have been some funky dreams. There's been some meltdowns, lots of breakups, lots of people stepping into a power that I don't know that they think they had. Me personally, I always envisioned a different type of person inside of me, but I didn't know how to be that person because of the system that we're in, because of the laws that we have, because of the people that run the world. I had to be willing. I had to be willing to unlearn everything that I've learned to tap into who I really am, to who we all are. Many gods and goddesses, because we were made in God's image. So we're all great. That chart of evolution from man, the one where it starts with a monkey and then it evolutes, I don't think that's a word. It grows into a man, and you just see that the human evolution is the step where it stopped. Well, that's not true. We had one more step. I've always received downloads and I've always received ideas that computers are nothing but carbon copies of us. We think computers are so amazing and we're so fascinated by it, but the doozy, the part that's not even true or real, is that computers are not better than us. Computers cannot do things that we cannot do. Computers are a model designed off of who we are. God made people. Science couldn't do that. Well, couldn't figure it out. So they made computers. I really do believe that there is some cloning and whatnot, but that's another topic for another day. Gemmies, let us get into it. Let's look at the energy for this month. Sorry, my voice is a little raspy. Throat chakra energy has been big for me with all this going on. So I have been affirming boundaries left and right and standing up for myself left and right and speaking more. And I have a Scorpio moon, so when I speak, I'm very passionate when I talk about things that I'm passionate about. So it's really loud and it seems like I'm yelling, but I'm not yelling. I'm just really passionate about what I'm talking about. I do the whole thing. I talk with my hands and this and that I know about me. Okay, so let us look into the energy for this month, Gemmies. I gotta say, I love a Gemini because I love a good time. Geminis are a good time. My entire little family here that I got going on is nothing but Geminis. The father of my children is a Gemini Cancer. My daughter is a Gemini Cancer. They're cuspies, right there on the cusp. For the cuspies, if there's any cuspies in here, when you watch these videos, you can kind of watch, one video and then watch the other one and then just kind of decide what fits to you and resonate. If you don't resonate with any of these messages, it's probably because it's not for you. But take what's needed and leave what's not. That simple. All right, Jenny, so let's get right into the energy for the month. What kind of energy do we have going on this month for the Gemmies? Okay. Yeah, I like cards that jump. All right. We're going to be 2 more. All right. Okay. Oh, I got one more. When I pick my cards, I kind of feel like I'm just told like the number of cards to pick, so I always go with that and I trust that. I do numerology too, so I try to go with that. Okay, we've got 5 cards, so I'm getting a message of letting go. The energy is all about letting go, Jemmy. Letting go of things that no longer fit you. Jemmies, you're not very emotional people, and I hope you don't mind if I call you Jemmies. It's just that I feel so close and personal, and we'll be doing this, so, Jemmies. You are going to have to let go. I'm getting a feeling that it's not so much of letting go of things as it is like emotions, harboring emotions that no longer fit you. If you've been seeing a lot of 5s, a lot of 55s, or a lot of 555s, that's just confirmation that you need to continue to let things go. 39, 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So usually Gabriel helps protect children, watch over babies, things with parenting, studying, things like that. But the 5th chakra is throat chakra. So you too, Gemini, may be in a place of being very vocal. Geminis are vocal anyways. They're gonna say what they're gonna say. They kind of remind me of a Sagittarius in the way that they're blunt. They don't give a fuck what they say. They're gonna say what they say, and that's it. It's okay to be vocal. And it's okay to say things the way that you say things. But we're in a time where one of the biggest mistakes you can make right now is being unkind. A lot of the time, people aren't conscious in their action. Sometimes people say things not thinking about what they say, not thinking about how they say it to who they say it to. Gemini, I'm going to need for you to think. Moving forward, I'm going to need for you to think before you speak. To sit and say that the way that you say things doesn't affect people, or you're not responsible for the way that people feel based off of how you say things. First part's true. You're not responsible how people feel, but based off of how you say things, that's where I'm going to hold your ass accountable. You don't get to just talk to people any type of way you want to talk to people. I know Geminis are used to being a boss, and I fuck with that energy. I love that. But in a time of being kind, I'm really going to need you to think before you speak. I'm really going to need you to tap into that 3 energy. Not just saying things, because I know y'all just do that, but thinking before you speak, before you do. Just taking the time to slow down and think before you speak is going to make all the difference in the world. What you want to think. Let me give you a little guideline of like how to slow it down. 1. What do I think I want to say? How do I think I want to say it? What is my intention as I say what I want to say? Okay? Knowing your intention before you speak is going to help you customize, tailor the way that you speak to a person. So if there's any communication issues, which Geminis, you're communicators, you're the messengers. I was just talking about Tupac today. Maybe that's why his energy was strong in my head. A Gemini. He was a communicator. He was a prophet. He said what he wanted to say and didn't give a fuck. But he spoke nothing but truth. So if you're speaking truth and you're true in what you say, as long as your intentions are good, it doesn't matter what you say. Now, I'll be honest here and I'll say Tupac's message was more for us African Americans, us black people, but it doesn't mean that other races can't take away from his messages. It doesn't mean that other races can't use those messages to heal their lineage or to heal their families' ideas, thoughts, and beliefs about who we are as a people. When I say who we are as a people, I mean black people, but like I said, his messages, if you take the time and study his lyrics, if you take the time and study his message, it was really a message for everyone. But there was a certain intention of upliftment for his people. It's okay to speak your truth and be firm in your word as long as your intention is good. Even though Tupac did not agree with what the whites were doing to African American people. His intention wasn't to necessarily offend the whites. His intention was just to uplift his people. But in him uplifting his people, Caucasians or maybe other races found offense in his upliftment because there was no inclusion. And they're used to being included. But everybody can't be included in everything. That's the thing. Because everybody doesn't feel, you kind of have to get in your lane and get in where you fit in. So my point is, when you say your message, Gemini, what is your intention? Now we're moving from the thinking to the speaking. What are the words that are going to come out of your mouth to create the intention that you have for the person when you speak? Right now, your intentions need to be kind, to be understanding. I can't tell you how to live your life. But you can't tell me that there's not some shit happening in the earth. One good thing about me is God has given me the gift of discernment. He's given the gift of discernment to a lot of people. But a lot of people don't want to quiet the mind to think. They're okay just following the news and following the media. You're a thinker. You're an intellectual. Use your brain to think about what you want to say. Because you're here to deliver messages. Your planet's Mercury. You're a communicator. You're a message giver. But you can't give those messages if you're in your own way. How do you stand in your own way? By not thinking before you speak. Please think before you speak, Gemini. Please do it this month. There's a 3 on here. Oh yeah, also Gemini, because you know what? There are some outspoken Geminis, but say you're outspoken Gemini and you have a Cancer moon. You might not be as outspoken. So if you have a sore throat, because those things are going to go on, you might not be speaking up enough. Because yesterday I felt some energies like, okay, there's some people who have a sore throat because they're not speaking up enough. You know, anytime there's something unaligned in us physically, it's because there's a problem. And it's our job to look into said problem. So I have a 3 and a 9. The 3, just like I told you, think before you speak. Think, speak, react, action. For with thinking what you speak, I would really say the thinking and the speaking, you have to think about exactly what it is you're going to say before you speak it. Because you have to create that intention here combined with the words for it to come out the way you want it to come out. For it to have the action that you're expecting for it to action. Because for every action is a reaction, Gemini. 9. Up here. 9 is all about humanitarianism. 9 is all about helping others. What are you willing to give? How are you willing to help? Now, Geminis, I love you guys because Geminis, y'all don't fuck with everybody. You're very selective people. You just don't have time for certain shit. But I love you because if nobody else can have anything that you have to offer, you're always going to give it to a child. You're always going to give a child. Can't tell children no. And so you're kind of ahead of the game because of that. Because Geminis, you just kind of have like such a childlike quality sometimes. And you're so fun and you're so fucking awesome. I'll give you that. But as you give to these children, I just want you to practice putting your foot in children's shoes a little bit more. I want you to practice not just giving to children that are obvious children, but trying to see the child in everyone. That is going to help you be a little bit kinder in situations and to people where normally you might not be. You have a lot of love to give. You have a special relationship with children, Gemini, and we all deserve to see it. So give it to us. Help us. Help us lead the way. Help us communicate. Help us think before we speak so that we can say these beautiful things and do these beautiful things and have that same beautiful interaction that you guys just naturally have with children. I love that. 9 and 3 is 12. We're going to have to simplify that. 1 and 2 is 3. 3, like I said, please think before you speak. We really need you to help us with that clear communication since you are the communicators. The garden and the gate. Upside down, 30. That's going to be our challenge there. The garden and the gate. Where they see a girl in the garden looking at everything, but she seems afraid. She seems afraid to go any further. She's stuck. There's non-action. And the card was upside down. The garden and the gate. Gate told us out. Once we get into a garden, gardens have so much to do. They have so much to give us because they're beautiful, even sexual in a way. They're exotic fruit, gifts. And it was upside down. I'm going to like that a challenger. You're in your own way, Gemini. You are in your own way. And because the number of the card says 30, and 3 is all about that action, all about that balance that we've talked about. And there's a 0 behind it. 0 emphasizes every number it's behind. So this is confirmation from the first card that you're in your own way. Because where you would normally be a beautiful, great communicator, the fact that you harbor emotions and don't communicate those is what's standing in your way and stopping you from getting to the fruit of your labor. When I say fruit, I'm talking about a spiritual fruit. I'm talking about a spiritual garden. I'm not talking physical. I'm talking next level. There's this thing called blessings. And God, He gives us those blessings if we do things the right way. Now, when I say do things the right way, I'm not talking about doing anything perfect. Because the gag is, we're already perfect, honey. We're already perfect. Literally the least of any of us is just the fact that we're human. That was before the hurt, before the pain, before the trauma, before the dirt. Before other people's thoughts of us created us. Because God created us. He knew who we were. He speaks us into existence. That's the beautiful thing about words. You get to speak miracles. But when we come on this earth plane and we're born, once we hit about after 3, we start to pick up on programming a little bit. Just a tad bit. Mommy's idea of who we are matters. Daddy's idea of who we are matters. After that age of 3, we start to become of the world. Just because we're in it doesn't have to mean we have to be of it. Just because we're here in this world does not mean that we have to be of it. That's going to go over a lot of people's heads, and a lot of people isn't going to understand what that means. We're all here. We're all here to live a human experience. Unfortunately, part of being human is sinning. That was understood when we got that. We knew that was going to happen. It's not so much about the sinning as it is about the recovery. When I say recovery, it's just a meaning that when we sin, we don't have to be so hard on ourselves. I hate to use the word sin because it just makes it seem so awful and so terrible. And honestly, really the only sin, to be 100% real with you, is being unkind. That's what people don't understand. Unkindness, it turns the hearts of many. It turns the hearts of children. It turns the hearts of just regular. Unkindness, it's a domino effect of just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people won't step into that. But I'm here to tell you today, Gemini, you're standing in your own way. You're standing in your own way because there's things down here, childhood things, that you don't want to talk about. The most simple way that I can put it is, when we're 3, we're the realest we're going to be. If I am 3 and you stink, I think you stink, I'm going to tell you stink. And I'm probably going to cover my nose and tell you again that you stink because I'm 3 and I'm real and I'm keeping it G. Keeping it godlike. Keeping it 100. After 3, shit starts to get fuzzy. I have a 3-year-old and I can see the effect of the world. I can see the effect of the TV shows. I can see the effect of YouTube, who thinks they're fucking slick. If you watch some of these the videos that your kids are watching on YouTube, because I'm with my son, I'm right there. I see YouTube's supposed to be safe. They're monitoring videos. Because don't give me the YouTube kid shit, because that's where they found Spider-Man and Elsa humping on each other as soon as it came out. I'm a stay-at-home mother. I'm with my children. I'm mom by day, talk about Jesus by day, and I'm just, sane by night, really. God, whatever. I'm always going to talk about God. That's what I'm going to do. That's one thing about me. And I see how just it's starting to get a little bit tainted. When we're 3, we're real. And so I've had someone I knew once had a dream. We won't get into that dream right now, but that is when I got knowledge that there is a Bible verse that says the most childlike will be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. In order to get in, you have to have child energy. You have to have child energy. If you're not tapped into your inner child, how are you going to get in? I'm going to tell you what I envisioned. Well, what I envisioned. Because I let my inner child start to guide me. I see brighter than I've ever seen in my life right now. Imagine a 3-year-old child inside of you, in your subconscious. Because when we're 0, once we turn 7, from the age of 0 to 7, we pick up everything we're going to pick up. Once we turn 7, that slides down into our subconscious, which is now in the dark. And now we've got our conscious, which is in the light. Now, somewhere in there, I know there's a superconscious, but we're not going to get into that because I really didn't understand it in the psych class. God just gave me what I needed to know. So, from the age of 0 to 7, that slides into your subconscious in the dark, and now you've got your conscious. Now, this conscious part is you for the rest of your life on. Now, if you have to be childlike, innocent, pure, white light to get to the pearly gates, and your subconscious, your 0 to 7, 3-year-old self, the last time you were real, is stuck in the dark, how the hell are you going to get home? This is why they call it shadow work, because it's in the shadows of our memory. It's in the shadows of our brain. You have to be willing. Your willingness is your commitment. You have to be willing to go in, find that 3-year-old. I always refer to our higher self as our 3-year-old because they're the most childlike. Find that 3-year-old. Pull them out of the dark. That means you're going to have to do some work, baby. That means you're going to have to do some work, Jemmy. And it's hard, honey. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Trust and fucking believe me. But it has to be done. It has to be done. You can't avoid it. If you're tired of pain, if you're tired of tears, if you're tired of crying, sorry, I get emotional about this type of shit, then you need to do the work. It's not easy. It takes more than a month. It takes more than 2 months. Shit, I'm still doing the work. But my inner child can see the light, and that's what's important. Because she is who's going to get me home. They are who is going to get us all home. But you have to identify. You have to be able to identify with the 3-year-old self. Let me tell you this. If you look at a picture of yourself, you're 3, 4, in your toddler years, and you can't identify, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem. Because if you look at a picture of yourself and not feel a connection to yourself, that means there's a disconnect. Your childlike self is not dead. They have not passed away. They just forcefully grew up in a world that is not designed for them to blossom. It's a world designed for them to be crushed and forgotten. That's not fair. We didn't come here for that. It's all a part of a master plan, but like I said, that's another video, that's another day. You need to go in there and you need to walk that child out. You're standing in your own way by not being clear, by not tapping into who you are. You're not able to speak of intention. You're not able to speak from that place because you're not tied into that place. There has to be a certain type of sensitivity. So use those moments when you're with children, loving on children, Geminis, like I know you do. And listen, tap in and let them teach you. Let them teach you how to be a child. Let them teach you how to feel. Take that same playful energy that you harness when you're talking to children, because I know you would do anything for them, and use that to try to find your own inner child, to bring your own inner child out, to find a way home. Once you start to see the light, you'll know, because life won't be so heavy anymore. One thing that I'm going to tell you is we are all here on one planet, but if you pay attention and you look at your life and you look at your friend's life and you look at other people's lives and think about the way that these people live their lives, there is no coincidence. in the way that these people have lived their lives and the things that are happening. If you have lived a good life and you have been a good person, in this month, I've noticed nothing but great things happening for people and getting showered. But if you have not lived a good life and you have not been a good person, and when I say this, I'm talking about kindness. I'm not talking about going to church every Sunday. I'm not, because that's a distraction from the truth. The truth is that we are here to love. We are here to play like children, be like children, teach our children from a childlike standpoint and a conscious mind that God loves them. He loves all of us. But we're so caught up and so distracted, and it's disgusting. And I'm getting pretty fucking sick of it because I have children of my own. So I'm a mother. I understand I can mother anybody. I'm one of the easiest people to talk to. But at the end of the day, Gemmies, stop being so difficult. Give people something to work with. There are people who love you. There are people who want to know you. There are people who miss the real you. You are good enough. You're more than enough. You were created into love and into perfection. So don't let anyone or anything make you think you're not enough. Because that's a fucking lie. 9, broken heart. It's just what we've been talking about. It hurts. But what hurts more? An adult you being upset, or a 3-year-old you crying, being upset, being scared, in the dark, because no one pays them a time of day, because no one tries to talk to them, no one asks how they feel, no one wants to know if